able to kick back. What about you?
Oh, I tell you what, there are days, Leona, that I just feel like I am on a hamster wheel. That I'm just on that little hamster wheel and I'm just going, 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 going. And I feel like I definitely need to just be able to just kick back and relax. Just to be able to breathe some days, just to breathe.
I know, I know. I thought, to be honest with you, when I retired, that things would slow down and I could just kind of kick back and enjoy each day. Oh my goodness. I think I'm busy now as I was when I was working.
Definitely. I feel like I'm even busier now than when I was working because when you're working, you focus your time around work and
Mhm.
family and a few extracurricular activities and then you're done with it. But when you're retired, you think you can do all these other things. You try to fill up all this other time with other things that you've been putting off or been wanting to do. And then you're probably even overbooked.
Mhm. Mhm. It is so you've hit it on the nose. That's absolutely right. Well, Wednesday, coming up Wednesday, I love talking about these national days that they have on this new national day calendar.
Hmm.
And April 10th is National Erase Self Negativity Day. And I
I
thought
like
about,
that.
I like that. I know you've been talking about emotional health and self help and better health along the way. And I've also talked about trying to keep us more joyful in what we're doing as far as the kitchen's concerned, as far as our home's concerned, and being able to encourage family. But the most important thing that I think each of us take the time to do is to talk about self help. And because I think we as wives and moms, that we have a tendency sometimes to beat up on ourselves when all the things that we put in place just don't happen the way we want it. So we're going to erase that self negativity today. We're going to talk about ways, 10 tips to be able to simplify our life so that we can start to breathe and start to look at ourselves. Now, tip number one, because we really want to jump in and I want to be able to respect everyone's time, give them a chance to jump out there and look at the eclipse and do all those fun things today. So, one thing that I know I have to do, and I do it often, is to be able to prioritize what's truly important and what really matters.
Hmm.
When you think about that, what are some of the things that automatically come to mind?
When I think about that, I think what really matters, what truly matters is family. And there's so often that we take family for granted or we take things for granted and we forget about those important things. So
Mhm.
hubby's coming in. Sorry about the
That's
noise.
fine.
But,
That's fine.
but yes, I think that family is important and that sometimes we lose track of that because they're there and we just take them for granted until something happens. I think the
Mhm.
other thing that I think is really important is home. Just making
Mhm.
sure that your home is an oasis, it's a place of calm. He's back out in the garage now, the door's shut. But it's a place of calm and it's an oasis that whoever comes in those doors can be comfortable and breathe.
That's true.
So
That's
those
true.
are the things that I think about.
Yeah, I'm with you. You know, I look at the activities that I participate in, and and just a few seconds ago, we were talking about how much uh, our lives have changed since we
Mhm.
retired versus where we are today. And as you look at that, we're looking at the activities that we do, we're looking at the relationships that we have, many
Mhm.
of which have changed over the
Yeah.
past few years. And so now I think for me, I'm looking for those things that are going to bring me joy, those
Yeah.
things that are going to make me smile.
Mm-hmm.
because let's face it, we have lived, I know both of us, we've lived great careers. We've done that.
Mm-hmm.
We've been really good moms, and our children are
Mm-hmm.
out and they're on their own. And so prioritize and let's stop. We've been great wives. And
Definitely. Definitely.
along the way. So in looking at that, now it's a time for us to be able to focus on ourselves and as well as our families, but we can
Mm-hmm.
do it differently. Now we have time to really do the things that
Exactly.
aren't so, as I would say it, money driven, because
Yes.
early in life we were trying to make sure we had enough money to cover the kids, keep the house going, all those things. But at this point, we're able to actually do things that we enjoy.
And not only that, Leona, because I think you bring up a good point when you talk about the money aspect.
Mhm.
As you're building your career and raising your family, all of your resources, or I should say, much of your resources, are going towards raising your family, establishing your home, furnishing your home, doing all those things that it takes to make and keep a home. And so
Mhm.
now, in the so called golden years, that I've
Mhm.
retired, kids are out there on their own, so I don't have to worry about them. I can focus on special things for grandchildren if I want to. The
Mhm.
house, I'm not trying to refurnish the house or anything like that. I
Mhm.
wouldn't mind having a new kitchen. I'm so jelly of your new kitchen. But but there's things that I wouldn't mind doing or that I would like to do, but there's no urgency. But I
Exactly.
will say though that my husband has said, let's build a house. We've actually gone and looked somewhere.
Mm.
Seriously? Like
Mhm.
now, at this point in our lives, I'm like,
Mhm.
you know, why? And our house is a two-story house. We got a lot of
Mhm.
rooms that we don't need anymore. And he's
Mhm.
like, well, we're not getting any younger. Those steps are getting a little bit harder to climb. But I'm just thinking that's going to be a house payment,
Yeah.
probably more than what we've got going on now. And I'm like, I don't know
Mhm.
if I want to step into that arena again. But
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
know. It's just something that we're thinking about. And it just kind of
Yeah.
popped into my mind when you talked about it. Because I'm like, we're comfortable here and I can make the steps okay without any problem
Yeah.
most days.
Right. Right. And we never know,
Most
but
days.
we never know what tomorrow's going to bring. And
Exactly.
we do, unfortunately, we do have friends and people that we know, whether it's through our
Mm-hmm.
church or just acquaintances, who
Mm-hmm.
have been in our situation, been go-getters as seasoned adults, and
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, all it took was one
Exactly.
fall or something, and their entire life changed. So we don't want to wait till the last minute. So trying to prioritize what's
Mm-hmm.
important. Second, and this is your neck of the woods, because I'm gonna need some advice because I am in a bind right here. Decluttering our physical space. You know, I had not realized, well, I had, but I hadn't realized how important decluttering really is
Mm-hmm.
until I'd say after I retired. Because at that point, to be honest with you, I didn't have time to go through all of that.
Don't even
I
think
was too
about it.
busy, didn't even think about it. And then when you start to declutter, it is amazing how, when you declutter a space, how mentally freeing it is.
Yes.
Oh,
Well, here's the thing. Every piece of every product, every
mhm,
item that you bring into your home is inventory that you have to manage. Now, I never thought much about that until I started my apron business. And then I realized all the products that's inventory that you have to manage and you have to figure out how to move it and all that kind of stuff. So
mhm,
when you have inventory in your home, you
mm,
still have to manage it and you have to move it. And it
yeah,
depends on where you're going to move it to. So when I sit here in my kitchen right now, and I look that way. I got this little railing that's a clutter magnet here in my home, and I've got a teapot sitting there, a teacup, and a little squirrel thing, and then one of those candle warmers. They
uh-huh,
got put there because one, I was doing some kind of video clip with the teapot and the cup, and I
Uh-huh.
wasn't done. So instead of me putting it back in the china cabinet, I just sat it over there. That little squirrel sits there most of the time, and now it's the season
Mhm.
for those kind of things to be out. And the
Mhm.
candle warmer, I had moved it off of this counter over there because I was doing something on the counter.
Mhm.
But they're all over there. So
Mhm.
those are things that I need to manage because they're
Mhm.
not where they need to be.
Mhm.
And then, as I was telling you earlier, the plumber was here in
Mhm.
all three bathrooms. He did something different.
Yeah.
So, but in the two upstairs bathroom, we dug everything out from under the counters. And I thought,
Mhm.
I'm going to go through those and I'm going to declutter some of that stuff before it goes back in there. Because again, we had to pull it all out. So we had to manage it. And now it's got to go back in. And so I'm
Mhm.
like, what do I really want to go back into that space?
Mhm.
So when you declutter your physical space, it is so freeing. Now, like my downstairs bathroom, now
Mhm.
you guys saw the drama that I had when we had to get the sink out, then we got the new one and it didn't work, so we had to send it back. And we didn't
Yeah.
have a sink in this downstairs bathroom for almost 2 or 3 weeks. And so we just
Wow.
got used to going upstairs.
Mhm.
It is so easy to clean that bathroom
Mhm.
because the way the new vanity is, it's
Mhm.
tall and there's a shelf
Mhm.
that's in there, but with it being so tall, the pipe comes down real far, then loops up. So I can't put a lot of stuff in there.
Right.
I've got two shelves and I know exactly what fits in there, and that's
Mhm.
all that goes in there, nothing
Mhm.
extra.
Mhm.
When I have to clean that bathroom, there's nothing to do other than like wiping, switch and swipe the sink and the
Mhm.
coat and all of that. But not having a bunch of junk under there is
Mhm.
so freeing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when you have less stuff to manage, you have more time to enjoy the things you want to enjoy. I'm sorry, that was a long explanation.
That's okay. That's okay. You know what? You are absolutely right. I don't know if I told you because I think you perhaps went out of town for the holidays, but
Mhm.
and just so you all know, yes, Denise and I do talk other than just on YouTube. And so
Yes, we do.
but the we had some work done in the guest bathroom and had a little bit of a remodeling and changing out the vanity and the sink, all that.
Mhm.
And so we were hoping it was going to take a couple of days. It took a little longer, but it got done.
Always.
And I tell you what, when I started pulling all the stuff, because I think this particular vanity probably had not been decluttered since my daughter was living in the house. And that's been years
Oh,
ago. And
yes.
so, as a high schooler, college student, all that. So you would not believe the things that were up under that the old cabinet. So all
Mhm.
that had to come out. And while it was fun, just going through seeing all the stuff that was there, it was also fun when I had that filled up that trash bag, trash, trash, trash. And
Mhm.
so just recently, a couple of days ago, I was in the process of putting things back. And I was able to organize, able to get things in, and actually stand back and say, wow, this looks really nice. And it's such a way that I like it. And
Mhm.
and it's easy to keep. So those
Yeah.
kind of things are freeing for all of us. So when we think about simplifying our lives, for those of you who still have children or grandchildren in your home, you probably have some things that are for them that
Mhm.
just in case they there's certain kind of I had band-aids with Batman,
Oh,
Barbie, you name. I mean, I had all that junk,
I used to
and
keep
so
my band-aids just for the girls because when they came, they would get the box and stick band-aids all over.
I know they got to have a band-aid, but I was
Mhm.
able to kind of bring it all together, put them in a container. And so now that they're of a certain age, they can actually go get the container, take a bandage out, and they're good to go. But it gave me time to purposely
Mhm.
organize what was under there. So that was fun. Another way I thought about of being able to declutter our space, and this is something that I think both of us have probably done recently, maybe not recent, but within a few years, and I know some of you in the chat have done this, of moving the furniture around,
Ah.
redoing, not buying new furniture,
Mhm.
just refreshing the space.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you have talked about the fact of just going through and maybe taking a few items out of the room.
Mm-hmm.
And if nothing else, pull those few things out of the room, give yourself a day, look at it, and then you come to realize, well, you know what? I really didn't need those items anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
that's also another means of decluttering, and also another way of being able to give your mind and your eyes a fresh view. And
Yes.
I used to do that all the time of changing the furniture around and
Mm-hmm.
seasonally. So I thought about it. I laughed when, as I was writing this in that I thought about, man, I used to do that all the time. I'd change our
Mm-hmm.
bedroom around, change the living room around. You just never knew what it was going to look like. But it is something that we can do to refresh ourselves and give ourselves new vision, because decluttering is healing. It
You know
is
what
so.
it is? It
Mm,
is so healing, and you just don't realize how weighed down you are with all that stuff. And
mm,
when it's out and you're able to walk through your home and just see areas of white space or areas of emptiness, so to speak, it is very healing. So
it
I
is.
agree with you completely, Leona. It is just really helpful to declutter. And not only that, but to be able to find things. Like in this downstairs bathroom, when I need to
Mhm,
find anything, it is easy to find because I know exactly where it is. And there's only
mhm,
so much that's kept in there. So
mhm.
it just helps you to be able to find things. You know exactly where to go to look for it.
Absolutely. For those of you in the chat, I had a couple of questions, and I'm going to give you the first question. When you're thinking about, our topic of living life simply, uh, tell us in the chat, if you don't mind, what are your top three priorities in
Mm.
life? What are yours? We've shared ours. Now, tell us what yours are, because sometimes it's a little different. And I know most of us, it's probably family is at the top of that list. Hubby, has a special category if you have a hubby, and if not, you may have a significant other, whatever the case may be. But those are some of the things that I'd like to know what your priorities are. Also, when you look back over this past week, what have you done that was truly meaningful? Truly
Mm.
meaningful. Oh, Ronnie wants the question again. What are your top three priorities in life? Top three priorities in life. And when we're talking about living simply, it's important to know what our priorities are, because those are the things that we're focused on and really put our energy into. And so those are some of the things that we want to be able to take a look at. So if you don't mind sharing those things, and I'm gonna come back to you in a few minutes, I'll give you a chance to get some of those things typed in. Now, here's a biggie: simplifying our schedules.
My husband says I'm the busiest retired person he knows.
Mine too. Mine too. We laughed last week. It seemed like I was in the door and he'd look up and I'm out of the door. And especially before Easter, oh my
Mhm.
goodness, I was gone every day. I was gone every day. I was gone at night because there were things that I needed to participate in or needed to be a part of. And so simplifying our schedule. I'm trying, and this is hard for me. It is I had to learn how to say no.
Yes.
Ah, and it's still hard. I still struggle, especially, and I tell you why. When you know things
Mm-hmm.
and people need things, particularly, I'm going to say church. And with church, you have things that you could jump in and help with, and blah blah blah. And
Mhm.
it's hard to say no. It really is difficult. And my husband keeps reminding me, but Leona, you do realize there's 1,000 plus people out there. Somebody else besides you knows how to do it.
Exactly. My husband is the same way. And I really have been working harder at trying to say no and not to take on so much. Now, I don't take on so much outside of the house now. I'm pretty good at saying no for some of those things, but I have things that I do online that
Mhm,
require time commitments,
mhm,
which,
mhm,
my husband doesn't have that so much as I do. Most of the things that he wants to do, well, he can just do them whenever he feels like doing them. But mine may have a time commitment associated with that. And then I'm like, well, I can't do that right now because I have this. So I may have a call to jump on for this particular thing. Or like today, I'm on your show. Or
mhm,
tomorrow, I usually have either Fly Lady Cat every other Tuesday, and then I have another group that I'm on. And then I started a group that I didn't start a group, but I had joined a group that I connect with on Monday evening. So he's like, you always got something to do. But I don't like to watch television. I don't
mhm,
sit and watch TV, so I'm busy doing other things. And then
mhm.
at night when it's time to go to bed, honey, I'm tired and I go to sleep.
Mhm, mhm. And sleep is gonna be one of those things that we talk about in a little while because of how important it is. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna stop right here and just kinda jump in for those of you who are new. I'm Leona Dooley, and this is my friend, Denise Jordan of Homemaking with Denise, and I'm Leona Dooley of Ebony, Ivy, and Time. And welcome to our chat. This is our kitchen chat. And sometimes we're actually in the kitchen and we're cooking it up. And Denise is doing all kinds of fun things in the kitchen as well. But today we decided that we were going to slow down
Mhm.
and we're going to look at a more simpler life. So I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to go back, Denise, and see. We have a lot of chatting that's going on over there, but I first want to see who all's here. We have Michelle Nelson who's with us,
Hey,
and she's
Michelle.
preparing, yeah, for the eclipse. So she's listening. I know. We have Tamaral who's with us of the Duncan Party of Six, who's with us today. And I'd say she's probably preparing for the eclipse as well because she's got littles who are at home that she's working with. Also, we have Emma G. Hello, Emma.
Hey,
Glad to
Emma.
have you here. We have my Heiji. I think it's Heigi House.
Hugga. Hugga.
Higa.
Yeah, Hugga. It's Swedish or
Huga.
something.
Oh, okay. Hugga House. Hi there. And if you will, you can maybe kind of correct me on how I need to pronounce
Me
that
too.
because I'm not too sure. And we have Natasha Kemp, who's with us, and we're so glad to
Hey,
have you
Natasha.
here today. We have Ronnie, who's one of our regulars, who's with you. We are so glad to have you, Ronnie. It is always a good time. We have Lisa Aiello. Hello,
Oh,
hello to you.
she's here from Fry Lady Cat.
How about that?
She's
Hi,
one of
Lisa.
Fly Lady Cat's people. Hi,
Well,
Lisa.
you jump in here and help us because I know you know some things about how
Yeah,
about decluttering and schedules and all that great things.
yeah.
So please share. We have Michelle who knows a few things about these items too.
Mhm.
Hello, we are so glad to have her from My Everyday Wife Life. If you haven't had a chance to check out her channel, she has a great channel that you will enjoy as
Mhm.
well. We have Florence who's here with us from
Hey,
Equip
for
Institute. We're so glad to have you here, Florence. And Florence knows how to get it done. She is so good at helping those of us who are trying to live life productively
yes.
and in working your business or just working your everyday life. She's got some good tips. Uh, Lisa is sharing that she said they're empty nesters too. She said she and her husband organize differently. Matt, we do too.
We do
And
too.
she said it's a challenge. I like simplicity and less. is more, but he likes visual, and and it's just clutter too. And
Let's stop there for a second.
uh-huh.
Let's just unpack that, because I was just thinking about that. And my husband's a retired art teacher. So in
Hmm.
his art class, he would have like cans and bottles and just boxes of stuff all over the room that he would use. And to him, it was organized. So
Hmm.
now that we're home, he has an art studio upstairs, and it's just the same thing. All these cans and bottles and brushes and things everywhere. But I realized he likes to see it. He
Yes.
needs to see it to know what he has. And even when he's in the family room and he'll have things on the bookshelf or on the table beside his chair and here and there, he needs to be able to see it. Well, I
Hmm.
want that stuff put away. I don't need to see it to know what I have. But
Hmm.
Lisa is so right in that when you're trying to declutter and you're sharing a space with someone else, it is a challenge. And you have to make sure that whatever you do works for you both. Now, I haven't
Hmm.
always felt that way,
Hmm.
but I've matured as I've gotten older. And I realized that what works for me in like organizing the pantry and putting away certain staples and supplies, if he's got to pull everything out to find it, and now I got a bigger mess than what I started with, it's not working. And
Hmm.
so you have to figure out a way to organize or declutter that works for you and the people you share your home with.
You are absolutely
Mhm.
right. Oh my goodness, you have stepped all over my toes
Oh, mine
because
too.
because my husband is just the opposite. He likes that simplicity. The less is best,
Mhm.
and I'm the visual. And to him, it's clutter, but
Mhm.
I know what it is. I can look at it and I can see it. And
Mhm.
so we're in that direction. So, it's a struggle. And
Mhm.
when you were talking about the pantry, oh gosh, we had a discussion the other day that you guys are going to find funny. We looked at the pantry. He was looking for something, and I put a section in the pantry for him that has his baskets, his da da da, his so and so. Okay, so whenever I get something that I know that's for him, I put it in his basket. And so I'm thinking that he will take the time to pull the basket out and look. No.
No, no, that doesn't
No,
happen.
he wants to see it, and he thinks it should be right here. And in fact, he'd be the person who would alphabetize it, probably alphabetize the pantry. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh
Oh
yeah.
no.
So I'm going, oh, so needless to say, we struggle with with the pantry. So it's a hoot, but
Well, one of the things that I've tried to do though, like on our counter, I had like um, some of those tall ball mason storage containers, and I had sugar, flour, grits, oatmeal, different things like that. And every now and then I rotate them on the counter.
mhm,
So he was looking for the grits. Well, where are the grits? Well, this was the time I had rotated them and they were in the pantry and not out on the counter. So I brought them back out on the counter so that he could find them.
mhm,
His fish breading, he was always looking for it. So I bought a smaller mason jar to put it in, something stackable and attractive that I could keep out on
mhm,
the counter that he
mhm,
could find easily. Because I just realized that if he has to look through all these things, and it is going to make more work for me to kind of put it back like I wanted, but he
mhm.
can't find it, then it's not working. So that's what I've
Absolutely.
learned. And like I said, I didn't learn that early on.
Me neither. Me neither. Me neither. And I it is what it is. Most of the time he was traveling. And so the way I wanted it was the way it was. And so
Mhm.
since we retired, I kind of had to put the skids on and
Mhm.
start to think, well, he does have to use it too. So
Yes, he does.
so okay, I'll meet him halfway.
And
So
I think that's an important thing what you just said. So all you homeworkers out there, you hear what she just said. She's gonna meet him halfway. or at least 25% of the way.
There you go. There you go. There
So he
you go.
knows you're making the effort.
I know. I know. I hope he appreciates that.
Mhm.
We've also got Sue here with us today. Hello, Sue.
Hey,
It's so
Sue.
good to see you. Florence is saying that she is glad to catch us live today, and we're so glad to be
Thank
able to
you.
be here today live.
I have
Michelle
to tell you,
said
Leona,
yes and
this,
yes. She likes to move things around to have have a refreshed, I'm
without
sure a refreshed
spending.
look without spending any
Mhm.
money. It is nice. I don't know
She's
about
good at that too.
yeah, she is good at that. I like even moving the pictures around, putting pictures in different places just so that when you walk into the room, you see something different. And so haven't spent any money, but I've got a new look. And so those are just little tidbits of things that we can do to just kind of declutter and change what we're doing. Lisa says she loves the freedom from clutter, but her husband and she, as she said, organizes differently. He's visual, and she likes everything put away. It is so hard. Now we did that. Re-asked that. Let's see. Michelle said her things that in answering to the question, her top three priorities was she wants to have fun, she wants to be stress free, and she wants to live healthy.
Hallelujah. I'm right there with you.
Yes,
Like it.
absolutely. Cheers, cheers for all of those,
Mhm.
because of the fact that I think these are things that in my younger self, if I could go back and step into being 20, but know what I know now,
Mhm.
these would be some of the things that I would want to know that are so important. And had I started it earlier to think health wise, there are probably some health conditions I wouldn't have today because
Mhm.
I found out back in the day that I needed to make some changes. And
Yes.
so those are some of the things that we're looking at. Ronnie said her top three priorities are decluttering the non-essential items in the home,
Mhm.
and changing her diet to be healthier,
Mhm.
and enjoying life and not rushing around.
Oh,
Woo!
that's a
Ding!
big one. Yes. And
Yes.
I think my husband has achieved that. That is one of his main goals was just to be able to
Mhm,
relax and not have to rush. And he says I'm always rushing.
mhm,
And when I think about it, I tell him, I say, no, I have two modes. I have my relaxed mode and I have
mhm,
my leaving mode. And when
mhm,
I'm leaving, it's obvious. Okay, I'm grabbing my bag, I'm grabbing my coat, and I'm heading out the door. He sees that as rushing.
mhm,
So,
mhm.
whereas I tell him, well, you just have one speed, and that's just, he just takes his time to do whatever he wants to do. But,
Mhm.
that ain't all bad. Because I find myself sometimes like, okay, I just need to sit and relax because I do rush a lot.
Mhm, mhm. I do, I do.
Mhm.
And I'm still very time oriented.
Yes.
For me, if we're having, say I have a meeting at church and it's at 7 in the evening, well, on time to me is arriving at least 10 minutes
Hmm.
before 7. Then I'm on time. But if
Hmm.
I come in at 1 minute before 7, I'm all out of sorts
Hmm.
because I feel like I'm late. And so
Hmm.
those, but some of that is just how we have come up, and
Hmm.
how we were at our 20 something self.
Yeah.
So decluttering is definitely on my list. I'm with you,
Hmm.
Ronnie, and I'm working on that. And I am working on number two, changing my diet to be healthier.
Yes. Me
Yeah,
too.
which is something that I wish my 20 something self had gotten into and stayed with it.
And stay with it.
That's the key.
Hmm.
Stay with it, because we really would have a very, now our pictures would look so much different.
So much different. So much
hmm
different. And
hmm
when you're rushing around, It raises your heart rate, it raises your blood pressure, and you probably don't enjoy life quite as much when you're rushing. Like once you get there and,
Mhm.
and sit down and relax, it's like, okay. But the rush to
Mhm.
get there is not fun.
It's not the fun part. It is not. Come on. There we go. Uh, okay. Oh, she said, my, what'd you say? It's huggy? Hug.
I'm not correct necessarily
Okay.
here.
Anyway, you know who you are. My huggy, hudgy house. I'm not sure. I know I'm saying it wrong, but help me out. Please forgive me. She said, don't apologize for saying no to something. I'm
Mhm,
trying to learn. I'm trying to learn that because
mhm,
that's important. For her, she said it's church and her husband. And I
mhm,
certainly go along with that. My husband, my children, grands, and church, all of
mhm.
those three. Florence said that her priorities are having space and time to give her loved ones, growing her business, and her work in her ministry. And I think, Florence, if I'm correct, Florence is a minister.
Okay.
And I believe you are a minister. I believe you told me early on that that was one of the things that's part of your life. So if I'm wrong in that, Florence, correct me. But I think that's what you told me. And so I know you work a lot in your church. And so I know all of those things are very important to you. Ronnie said she didn't accomplish anything significant this last week, but she said her granddaughter was baptized on Sunday.
Yes,
And that was
hooray.
so meaningful. And I certainly understand the tears along the way. It's it, I think that that's God's way of being able to say, okay, girls, you've worked hard. Here are your grandbabies, because our grandbabies bring us such joy. And so that's another way we want to simplify those schedules, because we want to stay around to be able to spend as much time with our grands as we possibly can. Congratulations, and God
Yes.
bless you. Um, Florence says she's learned to say no to some things too. I hear you. Um, Michelle said that her top three are her family's faith, living as simple and natural as possible, and educating her children to be strong citizens. Those are good
Mhm.
priorities. Good priorities. All right, now we're going to get back to some of the other ways. How many of you practice quiet time? We talk about taking a moment in the morning before you kind of get into all of your activities and just having a moment of quiet, whether it's with a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or whether you're just, I know Denise meditates as she does her yoga, and having a meditation time. And so, practicing quiet time. It may be that you're meditating. It could be prayer time. It could be a time to read. I know that's
Mhm.
something that sometimes my schedule's so crazy, I don't have a chance to really sit down and read. And I do like to be able to sit and read my Bible, and
Mhm.
as well as other books, or just to go out and take a walk.
Oh,
And
yes, I love walking.
now that the weather is breaking and starting to warm up a bit, I am going to get outside. And Denise, I thought about you because Denise is my nature girl. And she likes getting out there, getting those flowers all together, getting her herb garden all set up. Have you started?
I have not. It's just now gotten warm enough here that we could start to do some of those things.
Mhm,
And typically, we don't really plant much here in this area until Mother's Day. But some of those cold weather things like collard greens and those kind of things, you could get out early. But I was thinking, oh, if I could just go by Menards or Lowe's and pick up some herbs and just start my little container garden with some herbs, because I could
mhm,
bring those in and out of the garage if I need to when the
mhm.
weather gets inclement, because it won't stay nice. it might be 72 tomorrow, and then the next day it could be 40 or 35. I mean,
Oh,
we live in Indiana, and we say if you don't like the way,
yeah.
just wait 5 minutes because it'll change.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it'll change on a dime. So it's like, but people are starting to like think about those things. I'm like,
Mhm.
I just want to plant some herbs. I just want to get my fingers in the dirt. I just want some flowers. I just want to be outside. And I saw a rabbit in my yard yesterday. And Mickey Blue Skies was over. She's like, "Oh, honey bunny." I said, "Shut up! Don't welcome that thing here." Because Peter Rabbit and his whole family was in my garden last year.
Oh, no, that's right, because they ate up some of
Mm.
your vegetables. I do remember that.
Mhm,
It's,
mhm.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, Peter and his
They
whole family,
he brought everybody.
everybody.
See, you had good stuff in your garden. That's what it was. So he knew where to come and have a feast.
Hmm.
But and that brings us to number 5, spending time in nature. Now for me, I really don't have a green thumb. Now I do like flowers, and I
Hmm.
will occasionally plant herbs, but that's about as far as it's gonna go. I'm not gonna cut grass, I'm not gonna do
Oh,
any of that. And but I do like being in nature. Now my
mm-mm.
only concern is that there's some things I'm allergic to that are out there. So
Oh.
I have a limited amount of time or where I am. But as you think about spending time in nature, this is a great time to start thinking about, especially for those of us who are about to get warm enough. Now I know Michelle's warm at this point where she can get
Hmm.
out, she's on her bicycle, she's
Already.
walking, she's doing all kinds of fun things. But I'm just now at that point where I'm able to do that. But I want to have a picnic, get out and have
I
a
love
nice
that.
picnic. And I had even thought about that'd be kind of fun. Denise and I could wonder if we could set up a picnic. She'd have a picnic on her end, have a picnic on my end, and we share what we have for our picnic and just kind of commune with nature. And so we'll think about that and the logistics of that, guys. But, picnics are so much fun. And it gives you a chance to be out in nature, enjoy what is available to us. And it's really one of the top
Mm-hmm.
ways to simplify your life, to be able to get back outside. Because when you're simplifying your life, you're thinking about, we have gotten into such a rush around the world, really, all of us, at the age where we are, the day and age where we are. And we've forgotten really what it is to be more simple, to do
Hmm.
things in a more relaxed way. So let's start to think about that. Now, the next tip is simplifying our finances.
Mm.
That's a big one. And I'd say this to my younger self, and
Yeah.
I'm saying this to our young mothers, home cooks, across the board. Simplify your finances if at all possible. If you don't have to go in debt, don't.
Don't.
If you can save for whatever it is, do.
Hmm.
And because when you're basically, to some extent, when you're trying to clean those things up and declutter your finances, because that's really what you're doing, is kind of decluttering the finances. um, First, create your budget and
Yes.
stick to it. Uh, you're working toward being able to eliminate those things that you really don't need.
Hmm.
And when I think about all the things that I probably bought over the years, and how many of those things have ended up walking out of the house, going to the Goodwill or whatever when I got tired of it, I'm thinking,
Hmm.
wow, a lot of money went out that door.
And when we talk about simplifying our finances, though, too, it's like we are programmed to buy things. We are
Mhm,
programmed to use our credit cards. We are marketed to consistently
mhm,
to go shopping and to buy things. And it's difficult to be able to resist those temptations. And our children grow up thinking, oh, well, just get MasterCard and just buy it, or whatever, is happens to be the plastic of choice that they're touting that particular week. But you're right. If we could simplify our finances and live within our means, life is so much less stressful.
It is. It really
Mhm.
is. And, that's something that I think too, as adults, as moms and dads and grandparents, we're trying to set an example for our
Mhm.
children who are younger. And you brought up that great point of where our young ones are looking at what we're doing and they're trying to emulate what we're doing. And
Mhm.
so they think that when they get out of school, that they should be able
Mhm.
to jump into where we are today.
Right. Mhm.
And so, which is almost impossible.
Impossible.
And so many of our young people have got into trouble because of the fact, whether it's mentally in trouble because they think they're failures because they're not able to do what everybody else is doing, what their parents are
Mhm.
doing, or those adults that may have been out and working a little longer, what they're able to do. They think they're failures, and they certainly aren't. They just didn't see us at that point when we were first starting out.
Right.
And so, simplifying our finances gives us a chance to be able to have a good, solid start
Mhm.
with our money. And so, we want to be able to live definitely within our means. Number 7, find gratitude. Finding gratitude. Appreciate the simple pleasures around us in our life and express thankfulness. And for a while, I don't know about you, but for a while, it was funny. You would talk to a group of people and you would tell them, I am so thankful that I'm able to do so and so. And they would look at you thinking that you were bragging. It
Oh.
wasn't that you were bragging, you
Mhm.
were just being grateful for what you were able to do.
Mhm.
And I got to the point where I would keep it to myself
Mhm.
because but the reality of it is that we do need to be able to say, I am thankful that I have food in the refrigerator. I'm thankful. We
Yes.
need to acknowledge our gratitude.
Acknowledge it and practice gratitude. Now, I've been
Absolutely.
decorating my planners, and that's
Mhm.
one of the ways I've been utilizing quiet time. Like
Mhm.
sometimes on Sunday evening when he's watching the ball game or whatever in the family room, I'll be sitting right here at the table and I'll get out my stickers and I'll just kind of decorate my planner. Just a way of relaxing, just being in the moment.
Mhm.
And I find that I really enjoy that. And one of the things that I try to do on each weekly spread is somewhere on there to just kind of write some things that I'm grateful for. May not be a lot, and it's not necessarily anything big, but it could be something as simple as grateful that I could walk from the parking lot to the front door at the church. Because
Mhm.
sometimes, you got to park really far. But for
Mhm.
those that are disabled, they have lots that are closer up. And I
Mhm.
remember I got to the church and the parking attendant said, I'm sorry that I had to put you so far in the back. I said, no, it's okay. I am grateful that I can walk from there
Mhm.
to here.
Mhm. Mhm.
And little things like one day we had been I think I had gone physical therapy and I was teasing with some ladies in there and the other guys. So I said, you think my husband will take me to Michael's when we leave here? And the men were like, I don't know, because the weather was bad. And the ladies said,
Uh-huh.
oh, yeah, and we did not go to Michael's. We came straight home because it was snowing. But I thought one of the things that I wrote down that day was grateful for a warm, cozy home. Because it was
Mhm.
snowing and icy and sleety. Now, we certainly didn't need to be going to Michael's on a day like that.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
just wrote down grateful for a warm, cozy home, or sometimes
Mhm.
grateful for hot chocolate, like on a chilly day. But just to
Absolutely.
remind us how much we have to be thankful for. Because then I think about
Mhm.
those people in Ukraine or in
Mhm.
other places where they're having wars,
Mhm.
and I'm thinking they would love to be able to just sit at a quiet table and have a cup of hot chocolate and not worry
Absolutely.
about where their children are or something like
That's
that.
right.
So I'm trying to learn to be grateful even for the little things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if it's age. I
Hmm.
don't think so. I think we have seen so much around us
Yes.
that expressing our gratitude for the
Hmm.
small things has really become a big ticket item.
Yes.
Certainly, for those of us who are women of faith, expressing that is important.
Hmm.
We need to let God know we appreciate
Hmm.
the things that He has granted to us.
Hmm.
And so those are just some of the things that we think about. But that's also a part of living life more simply. Another
Hmm.
thing is to be able to invest in meaningful experiences, not the possessions. Now, that gives us a different mindset and also takes me back to that 20 something person, because
Hmm.
at that point, it was all about the possessions.
Yes.
It really was. And I had to have a car, had to have this, needed that, But at this point, it's about the experience. The
Yes.
time spent with the family is
Hmm.
valuable. The time that we can take and we can travel, the
Yes.
time that we have a moment to be able to go and picnic or
Hmm.
go to the movies or go to do whatever. It's about the experiences. And those experiences are giving us more value to our life because it's also making memories. So those
Right.
things are
Exactly.
important. We need those memories. Um, Practicing self-care. I don't know about you, but that's something that I have in my planner. I got my planner right here next to me, and I keep up with what have I done this week for me.
Hmm.
And I'd never done that until after I
Oh.
stopped working. And in fact, I guess I kind of thought I was being selfish because,
Hmm.
I need an hour for me. And everybody kind of look at you like, what? What?
Hmm.
No, you got a job to do. You got something to do. But it's nice being able to have the self-care. And number 10 is finding grace.
Yes. And you
Finding
know what?
grace.
I think finding grace is so important. I think so often we neglect grace, not only for
Mhm,
ourselves, but for our family and for our friends. I
mhm,
know, oh, and like today, for example, I was going to, do my yoga, get my physical therapy done, and then I was going to do a photo shoot for some new
mhm,
products I got in. Well, my husband said the plumber's coming today.
mhm,
So none of those things that I had planned to do happened. And then the bathrooms upstairs, they're at sixes and sevens because all that stuff
mhm,
got to go back underneath the counters now that the plumbers are done in there.
mhm,
And instead of me feeling frustrated because I didn't get to the task that I needed to do, I was like, as Fly Lady Cat sometimes says, be a thinking woman. I said, okay, I'm going to be a thinking woman and I need to get those bathrooms put back together.
mhm, mhm,
And I'll just work on getting those products taken care of later today and tomorrow because I can't get it
mhm,
all done in one day. I
mhm,
did go ahead and do some of my physical therapy. Didn't do the yoga because it's like,
mhm.
okay, if I don't get it done by a certain time, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
But I thought, okay, you're just going to have to give yourself some grace and like,
Mhm.
what's plan B? And sometimes, well, what's plan C?
Eh,
Because, okay, this didn't work. Okay, well, maybe I can do this. Well, if that didn't work, okay, then maybe I can go to that. You just have to give yourself grace and because things are not going to always go on the schedule that you planned. Because life,
mhm,
as the series that we have been on at church lately has called Life Be Life. That
mhm.
was the theme the pastor's been talking about for the last month. Life be life. And
Huh.
each week it was a different way that life be life.
Be
And
like
it's
that.
kind of a funny way to say it, but
Uh-huh.
sometimes life happens.
It
You
does.
have to figure out, okay, so life happened today. So now what do I need to do to operate with what's going on today?
Mhm, mhm. It's all about flexibility,
Right.
flexibility, and simpler life. Certainly,
Mm-hmm.
we have to be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Michelle. Michelle said for her, cooking simply
Oh.
is key too, and you're absolutely right. Simplifying her cleaning routine. She said, "Well, she's working on that one." Emma G said that her priorities are having time for hubby and she, also being more
Mm-hmm.
eco-aware by using non-toxic items in the household, and being more sustainable. And lastly, and getting regular exercises. Um, Ronnie said, "Well, gosh, after reading y'all's priorities, she said she felt selfish. No, not at all, Ronnie. We all have our own, we're in our own spaces, and
Mm-hmm.
we have our own priorities. And so our priorities are going to be different." Here we go, Denise. It's
Ooh, God.
Ooga.
Ooh,
Her
God.
name's Ramona. Oh, and you're in Chicago. Wonderful.
Okay.
You're not
Ooh,
far
God.
from
Ooh, God.
you. Not too terribly far, in the same neck
Yeah.
of the woods. Ooh,
Mm-hmm. 3 hour drive.
yep, yep. Uh, Florence said, yes, for maturing. We're
Mm-hmm.
maturing. Yes, we're learning. Um, Lisa said, can we just compromise? I'm sure that was where we were talking about with the husbands.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Um, Michelle said, yes, hubby does not organize the same as she. He does not organize by type, but he knows exactly where everything is somehow. That's funny. Um, Ronnie said, "Thank you, Florence." She said, "It's just that if I'm not in a good frame of mind, then I'm no use for your family." That is
Yeah.
a powerful message.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely right. And that's where all of this comes in play, particularly with self-care, because we do want to be in the same in the right frame of mind to be able
Mm-hmm.
to do what we need to do for our family. Florence said, none of us are useful to our family when we're stressed out and overwhelmed. Her bestie reminds me almost daily to put my mask on first.
Yes. And that's she's bringing that in from on the airlines when it says if you need to put on the mask, put yours on first before helping someone else. So I think we have to, as Florence said, mature and realize that self-care is not selfish, because once you fill up your own cup, then you have something to give to your littles or your partner or
Mhm.
whatever else it is in your life that is important to you. So yeah, self-care is not selfish, but it takes us a time to get there.
It does. It does. And it doesn't, it even when you're kind of sort of there, it doesn't
Mhm.
happen overnight. It's
No,
something we practice a lot. We
and
have
work at
Lisa.
daily.
Oh yeah. We have Lisa R who's with us. She's from the Chicagoland area as well. Ronnie, she said she'd be laughing if she were at our house during the decluttering session. Yes,
Mhm.
you would be sick. Um,
Well, I think it's kind of funny too, Ronnie, because when I'm decluttering, I think about, do I really need this? Do I love it? If I toss it, can I buy another one if I should need it? Now, if my husband's helping me declutter, he's like, that can go, that can go, that can go. But honey, let him be decluttering. I swear I'm married to Fred Sanford, because everything I throw in the trash, he'll think of something that he can do to repurpose it. I mean, seriously. Now there was some, like, those little pill boxes you have
uh-huh,
that you can put like a week's worth of pills in,
mhm,
that maybe one is broken. So you throw that in the trash. He'll
uh-huh.
get that out of the trash. And now he's repurposed it and he's putting little jigs or little pellets or different little things he used to make his flies with. And I'm like, well, seriously? Or, I mean, he can repurpose almost anything. He's pretty good with his hands and tools and he can
Yeah,
but I'm like, I wanted that to be in the trash. But
it is what it is. We
hmm
have one aerosol, and
That's Quartermain, Tracy Quartermain.
oh,
She
okay.
changed
Hi,
her name.
Tracy. So she's here with us. It's so good
Hmm.
to have you. Uh, Michelle agreed with you, yes, to not running around.
Hmm.
Michelle also said, she says she has to, I have to fib to
Yeah.
honey when we have to go somewhere. He gets ready at the last second. So if we have to be there at 3, she tells him she has to be there at 2:30.
I get it.
Do it too. I got you. Oh, Florence. Yes, I thought
Okay.
I heard you say that. Yes, she's
I didn't know
ordained.
that.
Yes, it is a core part of her everyday life. Absolutely. Absolutely. I knew that. Okay. Uh, what did you say her name was? Aerosol?
Tracy Quartermain.
Tracy. Tracy, she said she takes time to read her Bible.
Hmm.
Michelle, she likes quiet time, taking the dog
Oh,
cart and riding by
she's
herself.
got like a big park or something behind her.
Yes, yes. And it looks so pretty when she's out there rolling,
Hmm.
riding around. She says
Hmm.
she also takes her planner to park and she does it there.
Oh,
Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, great idea.
I've been working on my planner like right here where I'm sitting now, and
Mhm,
and like I can see him in the other room, and he's
mhm,
watching whatever. But
mhm,
it's just comforting that I can see him in there.
mhm.
Sometimes he'll look over here and he can see me in here. So we're not exactly in the same space, but we're
Right.
sort of in the same space. But we
Mhm.
can be quietly doing our own thing and still be together. So
Yeah.
I enjoy that. And that's my quiet time to just kind of sit here. And then every now and then, if I hear something exciting going on, I might go in there and look to see, okay, so what are they doing on there? And then come on back.
Oh, wow. Michelle
Oh,
said
wait,
she
back up for a
started.
second.
Uh-oh.
She's doing her challenge.
Yes, the Walk 30-day challenge. Oh,
Yeah.
Michelle's doing a Walk 30-day challenge, and she says she's doing it this month. I
She does
know
that every
she's
year.
invited. She does, and she invited everybody who wants to participate.
Mhm.
So check out her channel if you'd like to walk, and certainly be a part of that 30-day challenge because I know she has done that, and I've even done it one year with her, and it really is a lot of fun. Um, she said she started her garden in March. So
She's in what, Florida or California?
I think she's Florida.
But one of those warm places.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
been warm. Lisa said she can't wait for warm. She's in Ontario,
Hers probably gets warmer
Canada.
later than we get it here.
Oh, it's going to be chilly for a while.
Hmm.
So, and plus your growing season is probably a little bit shorter than some of
Yes.
ours as well.
Hmm.
Michelle said, yes, she's in Florida. She said it's 77 there today.
And I am so jelly.
I am too, even though we're going to be in the 70s today. I'm good with that. But Lisa says she's on a no spin right now.
Oh,
And hubby, Michelle said that she and hubby are debt free now, paid off their house in November, and no credit card debt.
I
Woo!
like it.
All
Hooray.
right. All right. She said it took time. It was hard work to get there, but she said it really does feel good. And that is great. And
Hmm.
that's a good message to those who are here who are younger. She said she did that by living beneath her means and saving 25% of their pay. And
Good.
that is fantastic. That's fantastic.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah. That's a powerful message.
Hmm.
Um, oh, let's see. Ronnie said, she said, LOL, not wanting to let go of your clutter. Yes, it's hard. It's hard.
Well,
And
you know what though, Ronnie? The one thing that I'm really starting to think about now is the Swedish death cleaning process
mhm,
because we have so much stuff. And what I realize is our kids don't want our stuff. They got their own stuff. They got their own house.
mhm,
Now they might want one or two items, maybe even three or four. but they cannot literally incorporate all the stuff in our house into their house. So when I was decluttering my closet, I took a picture of a few things and I showed them to my daughter, my granddaughter. I said, here's some vintage items. Are you guys interested? You know, they all into thrifting and vintage and all that. So there were a couple of things that they wanted. The rest of them is like, no, you can keep that. You can donate that. So,
Well, when we were doing the kitchen, I had tubs in this room all on the floor that I showed you all. They were full of things that I thought it was time to get rid of. And I had a set of china that I thought was absolutely beautiful and had forever and ever. And I just knew the kids would want it, for prosperity, if nothing else. So I thought, okay, um, they looked at that and went, uh, no, I'm okay. Just give it away. And I'm thinking,
yeah. But
oh,
see, the girls, they don't use China very much anymore. They
no.
mostly use disposable things, or they
Yeah.
do something simple that can go in the dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
So my
Mm-hmm.
daughter got a set of
No
China
hand
plates.
washing.
Yeah, yeah, they don't want to be bothered with that. And so we were there for
Mm-mm.
Easter, and we did get out real plates for Easter dinner, but they weren't to China. The plates we got off Easter dinner could go in the dishwasher.
In the dishwasher. Well,
Mhm.
and I have to be respectful of that because I can
Mhm.
remember those days of knowing if you're having dinner on Sunday, a Sunday dinner, Monday morning you got to get up and go to work. So
Yeah.
you need all of those things to be in place. And what better way? If you got a dishwasher, use it.
Hmm.
So that is certainly something that we have to be respectful for
Hmm.
of them. Ronnie said that she's even thought about the Swedish death cleaning. Have you ever done that?
I have started it, and then I kind of got interrupted and got doing some other things. But I've started it. Like I said, I started it in my closet, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's been a few things that I've kind of gone through. But I'm really going to get more consistent with it once I get through my laundry challenge, and we'll have to
Yeah.
talk about that after we're done.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
Well, I plan a 10-day in the laundry lab challenge, and it kicks
Mm-hmm.
off on Monday, April 15th, which is National Laundry Day. It's one of those laundry days.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I mentioned to you earlier, I'm going to have surgery on this hand this week.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know if I can do all the things that I need to do for the
Mm-hmm.
challenge. And so I'm thinking I probably need to postpone it because I mentioned in my last video, it's going to be on April 15th. I've been telling everybody it's coming up. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe I need to postpone it until I have my surgery and that area is
Mm-hmm.
healed. Because right now I'm having a little trouble bending this hand. And I just
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I can do all the things I need to do with one hand when
Right.
it comes to
Right.
organizing and sorting and even trying to work the video and lifting the laundry baskets.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Huh. So we may be doing like more May this
yeah, so I
week.
may do something on National Laundry Day, just
Mm-hmm.
some particular thing, because my son was
Right.
here and did laundry. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I taught you how to do laundry better than that. But what I have to realize now is that today's young homemakers, they do things differently. Like
That's
he's like,
true.
Mom, it's all about time. What do I
That's
have
true.
for? And he does the laundry in his family. Now the girls are older,
Huh.
so they're able to start to do some of their own. But at first, he was the
Mhm.
one that did the laundry. And they throw everything in there at one time. So when
My
he was here,
son-in-law does the laundry.
yeah. When he was here and I was taking the things out of the wash for him to put them in the dryer because he had stepped out somewhere with his dad,
Uh-huh.
there was a white dress shirt, a couple pairs of jeans, and I'm like, then so when he came home, he said, it's all about time. He said, I only got so much time. It's all going in together so I can get it out
Mhm.
together. So I thought was if this is what you're going to do, then you need to use a color catcher. But he was like, well, what is
Mhm.
that? So
Right.
to start thinking more
Mhm.
contemporary. Because like whereas I
Mhm.
got time to sort my whites and I got soft whites and
Mhm.
hard whites and this and that, they
Mhm.
don't have that kind of time. And like your
No,
home cooks, I'm
that's
sure
right.
there's some things they just don't have time to do when they're trying to cook their
Exactly.
meals. So
Oh, look who's here. We got Tech Troublemaker with us today.
what?
Yes, how about that?
Hey,
Hi.
Tech.
He
Oh,
said
look at him.
he puts all the clothes in together, and he uses cold water. He says his machine has places for all of the detergent and fabric softeners, but he does wash his towels separately. Hmm.
So he does
All
it like
right.
at his house too.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, all
Well,
right,
I
Tech.
tell you what, cold water wash,
Hmm.
it works. It
It
works.
works. And
It
most
works.
of today's detergent is optimized for cold water. Most of it, not all
Hmm.
of it, but most of it is. So I really have to rethink some of the modules that I was planning to. But I'm thinking you're right. I'm going to have to postpone it. But I think I'll do something on National Laundry Day just to keep it in front of people. But
Yeah.
like that, I would think I was showing you earlier.
Yeah.
This is what I have going on right here. So.
Oh, see, girls, and guys, these are things that we take into consideration as we're trying to
Hmm.
live life simply. You never know what
Hmm.
may occur. Who would have thought that,
Hmm.
this isn't something that's debilitating that
No.
you're dealing with, but it is certainly something that will slow you down for a minute. And
Hmm.
so think about that. And I guess really it goes back to our decluttering and all those things that if
Yes.
you can get it done. Because we just never know from day to day what will change in life. Who
Hmm.
may need to come back home? Oh my goodness.
Don't say
Oh,
it.
oh, oh.
Michelle's got her son back home.
I know, I know. It happens. It
Yes.
happens. And so we want to be able to get back to a better and more
Hmm.
simple life where we can enjoy each other and spend
Hmm.
time. So, Denise, I certainly had a fantastic time being able to sit here and chit chat with you and talk about those things that I love. And for all
This
of you
has
who
been
are
good.
over there in the chat, this has been so much fun.
It
Uh,
has been a lot of fun. And I have to say, Leona, for today so far, this has been the best part of the day because I could just sit down, just relax, chat
mhm,
with you, and then chat
mhm.
with our viewers. Because before that, as you know, I had stuff going on. So it's like
I know.
I could sit here and relax and chat.
So now you're going to go to your bathroom and work on yours, and I've got to go work on mine because
Hmm.
I've got to paint mine.
Oh.
I got a
Hmm.
paint job to do. So, and I have been putting off getting started. I went and bought everything, but I didn't get started.
Hmm.
So I am going to just start it today. Even if I get one wall done today, that's one wall that wasn't painted.
Yeah.
So I am certainly going to break that task into a few days. But to those of you who are in our chat, we have certainly appreciated your being here. We
Yes.
love having you here on Mondays. And next time we're in the kitchen, our next kitchen chat, we're going to be chatting from the kitchen and cooking up something that's going to be good. I am appreciative to all of you
Mhm.
with following me on the vegan journey, and because it's not easy. Let me tell you, it is not easy.
You know who's been following you in the vegan journey is
Who's-
Blue Skies.
Has she?
He's been cooking a lot of those vegan
Oh,
recipes, or at least like doing the impossible sausages and all that
mhm.
kind of thing. And then whenever she cooks, she cannot cook for just like two people. She cooks enough for the free world. So she sends out a huge bowl over whatever she's cooked, and
Yeah.
they've been some really good meals.
Oh,
But I
that's
told her, I said,
good.
you be careful about that pepper. And I gave her a jar of your house seasoning because I
Uh-huh.
made some. I said, now you got to be careful with it. I said, Miss Leona put in 1 or 2 teaspoons. I said, you better start with a half.
That's right. That's right. Start small and work your way up.
Mm-hmm.
But or find your point of what you
Mm-hmm.
like. So, to all of you, have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. Have a
Yeah.
blessed week.
Mm-hmm.
And Denise, don't leave. I'll see you when everything's over. And to those of you who are ready to go and take a look at the eclipse, enjoy
Oh,
it because
oh,
It is coming soon to a
About another
place near
hour.
you in another hour. I'm going to pull it up on nasa.org so I can kind of keep up with it. Hey, Dee just jumped in.
You did
Dee
join us.
Lovely Life. Yay.
Hi,
Good to see you,
Dee.
Dee. And so this has certainly been a blessed afternoon. Thank you for making it fun. And thank you for all of your kind thoughts. We'll see you soon right here
Bye.
at Ebony, Ivy, and Time and Homemaking with Denise.